My dear friends, am I audible? My dear friends, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Now, actually, you have to write down from here. Actually, is it correct? Right. At last, I will give some time to write down. Now, in yesterday, I explained what is data type, what is modifier. Today, I am going to explain you what is a variable. What is the meaning of variable? Right. Now, first of all, whenever you go to college, you will take a college bag. You may take some water bottle. You may take some lunch box. Now, what is the use of water bottle? What is the use of lunch box? What is the use of college bag? These are used to store something, am I right? College bag is used to store the books. Lunch box is used to store the lunch. Water bottle is used to store the water. In the same manner, in the computer also, to store the data, you required a container. That container is called as a variable. So, what is a variable now? Variable is a container just like as water bottle and a lunch box and a college bag. Right. So, what is the use of this container? It is used to store the data. It is used to store the data. Right. In one variable means in one container, you can store only one value. You cannot store multiple values in one container. So, it can store only one value. What is the meaning of this one? I will explain in paintbrush. Right, see this? Think it is memory. Inside the memory, I am creating a container. In that, I am going to store two numbers. One is 10, second one is 20. First, it will store 10. Now, I am copying 20 into this. Then it cannot store two values. It can store only one value. Which one is the recent value? 20 is the recent value. So, it will store 20. It will delete 10. So, what is the meaning of this one? A variable stores only one value at a time. Variables are created inside the memory. It is called memory. This rectangle is called as memory. So, it creates inside the memory. Inside the memory, variables will be created. Now, suppose I want to access this data. So, it should have a name. Otherwise, we cannot access. How can I call you? You have a name. I can call with your name. I have a name. You can call with me a name. In the same manner, it should have a name. Now I am creating a variable and naming it as A. So, A is the name of the variable. Every variable must be identified by a specific name. So, it must have a specific name. A specific name. Right. A variable should have a name. Now, variables are created inside the memory. It should have a name. It can store only one value at a time. Why it is calling as a variable means it can change its value. What is the initial value of a? 10. Whenever you put 20, 10 will be deleted and 20 will be stored. What is the meaning of this one? You are changing the value of this variable, no? So, change, it is also called as variation. It allows the variation. So, it is called as variable. So, it allows the variation. So it is called variable. It is called variable, right? So it is about a variable. Now, how to create these variables? Creation of variables, it is also called as a declaration. Declaration means creation. Declaration of variable. How to create a variable? Right. Suppose I am going to create 3 variables here. 3 variables means 3 containers. I am going to create 3 containers here. It is one. It is one. It is one. I am going to create 3 containers. I am storing a roll number 501. I am storing a student name Ravi. I am storing average marks means percentage 95.5%. I am going to store the roll number in this container. I am going to store student name in this container. I am going to store average marks in this container. Now I already told you a variable can store only one value and it should be identified by a specific name. Now with what name I can identify this? What is this 501? 501 is nothing but roll number. So name that variable as roll number. What is Ravi? Ravi is nothing but student name. What is 95.5? It is nothing but average marks. Average marks. Now every variable must be identified by a specific name. It is roll number. It is S name. It is average marks. In this way, you have to create the variables, right? Now, tell me how to create the variable. To create these 3 variables, what we have to write inside the program? Now tell me what are the variables you created? One is roll number. Second one is student name. Third one is average marks. Student name is one variable. Roll number is one variable. Average marks are one variable. Right. Now, in roll number variable, what you stored? You stored 501. What is the data type of 501? What is the type of 501? 501 is nothing but integer. So you have to specify integer here. Whenever you specify integer here, what is the size of integer? 2 bytes. Then computer allocate 2 bytes memory for this. And named it as roll number RNO. Here you mentioned roll number, no? Right? So it allocate 2 bytes memory for this variable and named it as RNO. Now what is the size of this box? Only 2 bytes. Now inside student name, what is there? RAVI, 4 characters are there. So you have to represent a character data type here. Now what is the size of character? Only 1 byte. Whenever you specify character, it allocate 1 byte of memory. In 1 byte of memory, you can store only 1 character. But I need to store how many characters? Group of characters. I can store Ravi, I can store Ramana, I can store Ramarao. So to store group of characters, you have to specify the size here. You have to specify the size here. So what is the meaning of this one? Character means 1 byte. How many characters are here? 100 characters. 100 into 1 equal to 100. So it allocate 100 bytes memory for this. In this variable, you can store up to 100 characters. You can store 1 character, 2 character, 3 character. Up to 100 characters you can store inside this. Right. Next one is average. What is there inside the average? 95.5. Is it integer, float or character or double? It has only one precision. So we can take float. So float. Whenever you say float, computer allocate 4 bytes of memory for this container and named it as AVG, average. So all these are lowercase characters. Whenever you write these 3 lines of code, then these 3 variables will be created inside the memory. Now, these 3 are the examples. Now tell me how to create the variable. Syntax. Syntax means how to use it. It tells about how to use. Right. Now, how do you create a variable? First of all, you have to specify integer, character, float. What are these three? These three are called as data type. First of all, you have to specify the data type. You have to specify the data type. After that, you have to give one space. Now one space. After that, you have to mention the variable name. Roll number is a variable name. S name is the variable name. The average is the variable name. After that, you have to specify the variable name you have to mention. Right? This is the syntax. These three are the examples for this. Right? Now tell me how to create a variable. With the help of data type and with the help of variable name, you can create the variable. So variable creation or variable declaration can be done using data type and variable name. By specifying the data type and variable name, you can create the variable successfully. Right? Now, this is about variable creation. Now, I created three variables and I mentioned three names. No? While naming the variables, you have to follow some rules and regulations. While naming the variable, you have to follow some rules and regulations. Those rules are called as scope rules. Scope rules of variables. What are the scope rules of variables? Now, see this. What are the scope rules? I will explain some rules here. Here I am taking a table. In this, I will explain how to write, how should not write. Right? So, means valid name, invalid name. Suppose I am going to store a number. So I am creating a variable number 1. It is valid. First number, it is invalid. It is invalid. Why? Because starting one should be alphabet. Or you can start with an underscore number 1. You can start with underscore or you can start with alphabet. So what is the first rule? First rule is it should begins with alphabet or underscore. It should begin with alphabet or underscore, but it should not begin with a digit. Right? It is invalid. These two are valid. Next one. I am going to create a variable to store the sum of odd numbers. Now I am going to create a variable sum of odds. Odd numbers to sum. But it is invalid. Why? Because in name, you should not give any spaces. Right? In name, you should not give any spaces. So it should not begin with, it doesn't have space. It doesn't allow spaces. It doesn't allow spaces. Spaces are not allowed. Right? You can write like this. Sum underscore of underscore odd. You can separate them with the underscore, but you cannot separate them with the space. Right? Like this you can write, but it is also not possible. Sum minus of plus odds means it doesn't allow any special symbol except underscore. It allows only underscore. Except underscore, you cannot use any symbol in variable name. So it does not allow any special symbol except underscore. Only it allow underscore. Except underscore, you cannot use any symbol inside the variable name. Right. The next one is it should not be a keyword. So means integer. You cannot create a variable like integer. You cannot create a variable like character. You cannot create a variable like long. Why? Because all these are keywords. So variable name should not be a keyword. It should not be a keyword. Keyword should not give as variable name. Right? Next one is the length of the name should not exceed 32 letters. Its maximum length is up to 32 letters. Its length should not exceed 32 letters. Up to 32 letters, okay. If its length exceed 32 letters, then it is not okay. Right? These are the rules, 5 rules we have to follow while naming a variable. So these are valid names, these are invalid names. Right? This is about the variables. Now, what is a constant? Constant is opposite to variable. Variable means it can change its value. It can vary its value. Constant means it cannot vary its value. It doesn't allow to change its value. That is called as constant. So what is a constant? Constant is also a variable. But it don't allow to change its value. So it don't allow to change its value. It retain its value until program termination. Once you assign a value to constant variable, you cannot change it. Its value is always same throughout the program. It retain its value until program termination. Program termination. Until you terminate the program, its value is remain constant. Remain constant. Right. So it is, if you try to change its value, then it will produce error. If you try to change the value of constant, then we will get error. We will get error. Now, to create a constant, there are 2 procedures. 2 ways are there. So we can create a constant in 2 ways. 2 models are there. First model, way 1 is we can create a constant using hash define keyword, hash define command. You can create a constant using hash define command. Second way is way 2. We can create a constant using const keyword. Const keyword. I will give 2 examples. Example, I am going to create a constant by using hash define command. Hash define. It is used to define a constant. This command is used to define a constant. Following that, we have to specify the constant name. I am going to create a constant. Its name is pi. Pi. Pi means 3.14. No. Okay. While manipulating or while calculating the area of a circle, then we have to use pi r square. So pi, what is the value of pi? 3.14. It is the constant value. So it is the constant name. It is the value. How to separate them? By giving space, we have to separate them. Command. It is command. It is constant value. It is constant name. It is constant value. Like that, you have to write. Now, by using const keyword, also you can create a constant. Suppose I am going to give an example. So see this. Here I am creating float. Variable name is pi. Its value is 3.14. 3.14. So it is you create a variable here. You create a variable here. Right. Pi. Its value is 3.14. Actually, variable means it can change its value. I want to make it constant. Then I can use const here. Whenever you use const, then it becomes constant. After writing this, its value cannot be changed. It is fixed. Pi value is 3.14. So in this way also you can create a constant. In this way also you can create a constant. Now what is a constant? Constant is a value. Constant is a variable whose value cannot be changed. Whose value cannot be changed. It is nothing but a constant. Right. Now the next one is identifiers. What is the meaning of identifiers? Identifiers are nothing but the names allocated to a variable. Here it is a constant, no? What is the name of constant? Pi. It is identifier. Suppose you have some names, okay? Mitra Pal Singh. I can identify you by that name. Atulji. I can identify you with your name. Okay. Navanita. It is also the name of person. So the names allocated to things are called as identifiers. So identifiers are nothing but the names allocated to variables. Variables. In previous example, I created 3 variables. One is roll number variable. Second one is SName variable. Third one is average variable. These 3 are variables. The names allocated to variables are called as identifiers. The names allocated to variables are called as identifiers. Sometimes I write void main. In void main, main is the function name. Function name is also identifier. So the names allocated to variables, functions, or constants. I create a constant pi. Here pi is the name of the constant. So the constant name or function name or variable name, these are called as identifiers, right? I will give some examples. Example 1. Here I am creating integer roll number. Now here what is the roll number here? Here roll number is identifier of variable. Identifier of variable. Example 2. Right. Void main. Here what is the identifier? Here main is the identifier. Here main is identifier of function. Identifier of function. Example 3. CONST float. Constant name is pi. Its value is 3.14. Here pi is a constant. Here pi is a constant. Pi is a constant. Identifier of constant. Identifier of constant. Right. One more thing I forgot here. Constant name better to use capital letters. So constant name, it always represented in uppercase. Constants are always represented in uppercase. So here these are the identifiers. Identifiers means the names allocated to variables, the names allocated to functions, the names allocated to constants are called as identifiers. Next, what is a keyword? What is a keyword? Now here I define some names. One is roll number, second one is main, third one is pi. All these are defined by me. Means I am the user. Those are called as user defined identifiers. Suppose there are so many things are there. Those are already defined by the developer. Those names are called as keywords. Keywords also the names. Identifiers also the names. But these are defined by the developer. These are defined by the you. Right? If you define a name, then it is called identifier. If the name was already defined in the system, then it is called keywords. The names already defined inside the language is called keyword. The name already defined inside the language is called as a keyword. Right. So keyword means it is a reserved word. Reserved word. It is a reserved word. Reserved word means suppose I establish a company in my village. I cannot name it as Google. I cannot name it as Microsoft. Why? Because it was already defined. It was reserved with someone. So the reserved word or the reserved name is called as a keyword. So reserved word or reserved name. Right. Now It is a system defined identifier. It is also called as system defined identifier. System defined identifier. Right. In C language, there are totally 32 keywords already defined inside the computer. So C supports how many keywords? 32 keywords. You should not alter the meaning of keyword. Once you define a keyword, you should not alter the meaning of keyword. We cannot alter means change. We cannot change the meaning of keyword. Meaning of keyword. Right? You should not change the meaning of keyword. If you try to change its meaning, then you will get error. If we try to change its meaning, then we'll get error. So some of the keywords are character, integer, float, double, next void, long, short, signed, unsigned, next if, else, switch, case, break, while, for, do while, continue, go to, auto, static, register, external, next one struct, union, enumerator enum, type def, return. All these are called as some of the examples of 32 keywords. Some of the examples of 32 keywords. Right? So if you have time, then I will give time to, I will give explanation. Now write down from here. You have some pending to note it down. Yesterday you have to note it down, no? Note down from here. Afrin, do you have any doubt in today's class? Syed Hussain, Afrin.
No, sir.
Good. Atulji, Navanita. If you have any doubt, the class is always better to be as interactive. So you have to speak up. If you have any doubt, you can ask at any point of time. Good. Note it down. After completion of these demo classes, I will take your contact numbers. I will send this material to you every day through WhatsApp. What I am teaching are basics. You have to learn basics very well. Then you can understand the programming language very well. Is it completed? Table completed? Can I scroll down up to here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, good, good. Can I scroll down up to variables?
It's done, sir.
Scroll up, scroll down.
Yeah, all done.
You are here. Declaration of variable.
Done.
Completed up to
I
here.
have it. Yes, sir.
Can I scroll down?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Atulji.
Yeah, completed, sir.
Completed. All right, do one thing. Up to this, you note down today. Tomorrow, you will note down the remaining. Right? Up to this, you note down.
Okay.
Okay, right. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we will wind up the session. Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Right. Good, good. Thank you. Right.